What's going on, y'all? It's J Smo Reviews here, back at it again with another video, bringing you guys a ranked concept going on a more current event kind of situation that's going on right now, and that is the new URL signings. Obviously, I've signed 5 new battlers. I believe that there might be a 6th one on the way. I'm seeing some waning out there. So I just had thoughts on a few of these guys that got signed that I really wanted to get out. So if that 6th signing comes in, I might just do a little tweet add on where I would have them, just how I feel about it. Might even be in the spaces talking about it more. But right here, we're going to rank the 5 new URL signings. And shout out to Let's Talk Battle Rap, you know what I'm saying, France, all them guys, Titus, got so much love for all of them. And what I'm going to do is something similar that they did. I'm going to give a letter grade. First of all, I'm going to rank, 5 to 1, how I feel about the signings. And I myself am also going to give a letter grade to these signings, just how I would feel about it. But I think that they've brought in some great talent, a mixture of guys that could be gatekeepers, some vets, coming back and giving the fans a little bit of nostalgic feel, as well as some guys that I think still have some high upside and could be part of really the future endeavors of URL. So without further ado, let's get to ranking these new free agent signings. So at number 5 and with a C+ grade, I have Clean Paper. Clean has actually had a pretty decent year. The C+ is mostly going to come down to inconsistencies. Just come out the gate with that. We obviously know Clean is available to no-show, choke, not really give a fuck depending on who opponent is. And it's rare that he does respect the guy enough to really bring a fully prepared Clean, which is a great battler. It's why he got signed. But originally, I was going to go with C- because of the inconsistencies, but his 2023 has shown a little bit of upside. I know people gave him a lot of shit for the Ward battle because he wrote the material down his arm, and you should know your material, but his third was really good. I had him winning the 3rd round, and although I did think he lost the battle clear, especially in the first 2, I thought his first round was pretty decent as well. I thought it was decent clean outside of the choking. And even then, like I said, I thought his 3rd was his best round. And then before that, you had the Geechee performance, which a lot of people, including myself, have him winning that battle. He was pretty good, able to do the comedy, the impressions, the bars, and the real talk. I don't think he won clear like some people have it, but I do have him winning the battle. So overall, I think Clean's been better of recent and makes the signing make sense. In terms of the matchups you get, I know he talks about, I want to rock rematch, things of that nature. I don't think he's getting that. So I do think he's going to have more of a gatekeeper role, which I think is a perfect role for him, but I don't know if Clean thinks that's a perfect role for himself. So when the lack of, bigger time opponents start coming in that Clean wants, I don't know where the effort and motivation will be. I think versus guys like Truffaut, Sheed even, he could have some good run-ups with the UM4, and even some guys like Nun, Holmesy, of that nature. And then maybe if he shows out in a couple of those, he does get those bigger plates. But just off of what I've seen, I can't necessarily count and bet on Clean. So that's why I have him as the worst, but still solid signing out of the new URL signings. And that'll get us right to number 4. And from 4 up, I have way more. Not that I had any as bad for Clean, there's more question marks, but from 4 up, I'm like a super fan. Like, I really can't. Ranking comes down to how much upside they have, but there's really little low side or downside to these other signings to me. And at number 4, I have O-Red. Now, obviously, recently I did a Fonz Book'em. For those of you guys that want to check out my recent videos, I just gave some matchups I think would be perfect for Fonz. And the number 1 matchup was O-Red. And it looks like there's a good chance that that's going to happen. URL put out a poll. Fonz was one of the options. He's one of the more winning options, I believe. But O-Red, I think, comes in as an amazing gatekeeper guy with a couple pen matchups left. I think that he would be great. I know guys like Drugs have called him out. He obviously battled Nun, and even though that the quality of the battle wasn't great, it was supposed to be a gatekeeper-ish battle. I've said it a lot. I think Nun was supposed to win that battle clear, but O-Red did his job, had the moment with the whiteboard, the triple entendre, and a lot of people's eyes won that battle. I think it's debatable. I actually edged Nun, but him making it debatable, that was a really good, I thought that was a good gatekeeper moment for him. And I think he was decent versus JC too, and as he completes some of these like smaller circuit league battles, I heard him and Capo just had a very, very good battle. I believe it was on Houston Bar. I can't remember what league it was, but I know he just had another good battle. And here I could see Fonz, which is that gatekeeper-ish, where Fonz is of a high rank, but at that higher mid-tier rank. And O-Red taking those guys wanting to break into top tier, the Drugs, the Holmesies, the Fonz, and just have a lot of good matchups. Top of the fact, him versus Chilla or a nitty rematch in the volume. Red always has that upside where he can be great in the volume, considered one of the kings of the volumes, if not the king of the volume. I just think there's so much good here. He's a good top tier name. Very setting based, needs to be on the smaller side of the room, but if he does that, he's good for good matchups on solid cards, and he's good for pushing up newer talent. And as for a grade, I'm going to give it a solid B. I think Elred is a B, and he's a very good signing for URL. And into the top three, the third guy I have as the third best signing is none other than Chef Trez. Obviously, this is the one I think the fans love the most, which partially plays into the ranking of it. I haven't been all too impressed with Chef Trez's recent body of work. I think there's been a little bit of a lack of motivation and energy. You saw it in his GTX battles versus Thesaurus. I think even versus Saint, he was a little more down on the energy. He started the year very good on RBE. I thought him and Jay Murda had a great battle. And then from there, I think he's supposed to battle Rose. It kind of fell through. And some of his lower, local league stuff, it can be decent, but it can also just a lack of energy. And I think that, Trez has always been one. When he left Battle Rap, he was in a good spot. He just wanted to take a break, I believe, for other life things. He went into crypto, other stuff. And I think that if he is motivated, he applies himself. And this might be that time to reapply himself. I know his first battle back is authentic on the final exams card. I'm not exactly the happiest about that, but I'm hoping from there we get more names against this younger talent, preferably the UM1 class. I think Chef Trez versus the Luke Astros, Chef Trez versus Kid Chaos, Chef Trez versus all of these new age. I even think Chef Trez versus Fonz. I just think he's kind of that area around there with those guys in terms of, how long he's been in battle rap. He obviously predates them in terms of he had his little run on URL before that, but I think he comes back and those are the matchups people want to see versus Chef Trez. The other new guys who are about to take that leap in the top tier, they want to see Trez put right back in there, right in that bordering top tier spot he was when he originally left URL. Overall, for a grade, I'm going to give it a B+, just because the people are so happy about it, and for URL to listen to the fans and bring back a talent like Chef Trez, who isn't necessarily top tier or anything like that, but he's just a very good battler, and he gives good work rate on the mid card, and with, really almost in the trenches to a lot of people. Gotta respect him, giving him his respect. I think he brings the freestyling aspect, kind of a different style that they don't have a lot on URL, and just a very good signing overall with tons of different matchups you can mix and match. A lot of variety of who you can match Trez up against. That's why he's third, which leads us into the top two, and both of these signings are almost equal to me, to be perfectly honest with you. I love both of them. But at the runner-up, I do have Saint. Saint finally comes over to URL. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk about saying he's been on King of the Dot all this time, and he's been very good over there. Most recently in his battle versus Real Deal, which he lost. He did lose challenging for the title, but I actually had him taking the first 2 rounds. And either way, I don't think that you can debate. He had a very, very good performance. And then winning the tournament before that, beating Disaster and Marv 1 in the tournament setting. In terms of who we can battle over there at King of the Dot, even though it doesn't go up against his style, which is that very gun bar heavy punch haymaker style, which I don't think necessarily hits crazy on King of the Dot, he's finally over here to face, some more talent that matches him, but beating Diz and Marv is no easy feat on any league. And now we get to see Saint if he really has the upside that some people said he has. Not that he couldn't show that on King of the Dot, but obviously there's just more top-tier matchups here that I think suit him better. Imagine if Saint blows it out the water and we get Saint versus the Tay-Rocks or the Rum Nitties of the world, things of that nature. But starting out, obviously I don't think he starts out there immediately. I think he has a lot of upside, but one battle I'm ready to see. I'm hearing a few different names that people bring up that Saint want to see, but one battle I want to see is Chess. We've been talking about it for years. It is time to do it. Chess versus Saint makes sense. I believe that Saint really could win that battle. I think right now with the way that Chess's stock is looking a little downer, he's more open to a matchup. Like, can Saint prove it? Maybe before he would stick more to top tiers. He was on SM, but this is the perfect time to book it. I think Saint is immensely talented, a great rapper, writes some of those creative punches in battle rap, and I give this signing an A on the dot. And that leads us into the last signing. What do I think is the most recent free agent addition? I obviously narrowed it down. You guys know which one it is if you know all the new signings. But at number 1, fairly easily, I have Bill Collector. And what can you say about Bill Collector? He is one of, the top 10 contestants for, I believe, Champion of the Year so far. I think most people obviously know that, winning the tournament earlier, 100K. But as long as he's been off URL and on that King of the Dot run, he's just been rapping at some of the best rate he's ever been rapping at. The wordplay tying in bar for bar, this full style rebrand to a haymaker, just rapping machine. Some would debate that he's just one of the best in the world from work rate the last few years, multi-time Champion of the Year finalist. Just incredible from him so far. So him coming back opens up so many doors because I feel like there's so many top tier matchups that Bill hasn't gotten, and Bill is kind of a newly anointed top tier to a lot of people. Now I believe Bill's myself has been top tier for a few years now, but it's also about how you brand yourself to the public. And I think only in the last year or two has the masses really started respecting Bill as a rapper, to the point that Bill versus Nitty, booked for Traffic 5, is a matchup that really got booked. People want to see. People were kind of calling Bill versus JC crazy earlier in the year. There were some people with it, but some people were calling it crazy. Now Bill's here. They want to see that. Bill versus Sheed, Bill versus Tay-Rock, which I think is a good battle. Tay-Rock would take the battle. These are the battles that I think was taking a long time for Bill to get to. And now in this run of URL, I think he could fill out a lot of those top tiers. He could be a consistent top tier performer on any of these cards. And maybe next year we're talking about Bill Collector on a Gnome or an SM, depending on how these first few battles of his run go. But I think that he is the one certified in his prime battler here, top tier wise. I know I've been saying top tier a lot, but I think he's the one certified, like, best in the world guys that just got signed in this class. And he's just been so asked for. And after winning 100K, people just want to see what he can do. That's why he got a different negotiation. I believe his opponents already negotiated, so he gets certain amount of top tiers or certain plates and looks, as he should. I think that's very smart. I credit him for that in another video for quickly, but I want to say it again here. I think that's the biggest thing when battlers negotiating contracts. Get your ops in paper. Payment, all these other things. I'm not back there, so maybe it's not that simple, but I think the most important thing is that as long as you're battling names of value, whether the fans are tuning in to see how you do or the other name, the eyes are on you, and those are the plates you really want to build your legacy and bet on yourself. So respect to how Bill negotiated, respect to what the consistency and the greatness he showed the last few years, and I give this an A+. This is an amazing signing to hold him down for 2 years exclusively. And overall, the class as a whole, I give a B+. I said class, but overall for this whole thing of signings, I give it a B+ overall, maybe even an A-. I just think that to have these new vets kind of cycle out the gatekeepers, bring in more guys like Trez and Saint that could probably be on a card-to-card basis with the other young cats. I just think there's so much good here, and a lot of talk with URL monopolizing and whatnot. I just am happy to see this talent, and as long as they're used properly, what else could you do but be happy for them? So overall, like I said, good signing class. And, just this week, we're going to stretch out a couple more topics, and then we're going to be able to recap so many events starting this weekend, guys. We are going to have all types of recaps, all types of content going into these last few months. But happy making this one, and I will let you guys know on Twitter. Follow me on my Twitter in the description about all the new news that's coming out of Battle Rap and about this last signing if they announce it soon. But it's been J Smo Reviews again, y'all, and I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. Peace.